the bottle of pain pills on the counter. For millions of seniors living with the daily grinding pain of arthritis, it is a familiar and frustrating reality. But what if there was another way, a gentler, more natural path to relief, one that is grounded in the wisdom of nature and is now being backed by strong modern science? Today we are going to explore 3 natural supplements that your doctor may have never mentioned, but that could make a world of difference for your joints. Welcome back to Healthier Daily, the channel where we give you the simple, science-backed truths to live a stronger and more independent life after 60. I'm your host, Dr. Ben Carter, and this topic is a very personal one for me. I remember watching my own grandfather. He was a strong, quiet man who built houses with his own 2 hands his whole life. But in his later years, I watched him wince in pain every single time he got up from his favorite chair. He never complained, but you could see that the pain was slowly stealing small pieces of his freedom. That memory is why I'm so passionate about finding better, gentler solutions for joint pain. And to guide us on this hopeful journey, we are joined by a physician who has always believed in the body's own wisdom and the healing power of nature. It is our great honor to welcome Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara.
Thank you, Ben. Your grandfather's story is the story of millions of people. The goal of medicine should not be to simply mask the pain with a pill. The true goal is to calm the internal fire of inflammation that is causing the pain in the first place. These natural compounds that we will discuss today work with the body's own wisdom. They do not work against it.
And that is exactly what our guide is about today. Dr. Hinohara is going to walk us through his 3-tiered arthritis support protocol. It is a very intelligent way to think about natural supplements. We will cover what he calls Tier 1, the fast-acting soother, a supplement for more immediate relief from inflammation. Then we'll talk about Tier 2, the deep systemic balancer, which works on a body-wide level. And finally, we will explore Tier 3, the long-term structural support for helping to rebuild the joint itself. It is a true blessing to know that we have been given these gentle options from nature to help us find comfort and healing. If you are looking for a gentler, more hopeful path to managing your joint pain, please type the number 1 in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe to our channel. It's completely free, and this guide is full of responsible, science-backed information. Okay, doctor, let's get right into your 3-tiered arthritis support protocol. You said the first tier is the fast-acting soother. This sounds like it's for the person who is in pain right now and is looking for more immediate natural relief. What is this supplement?
Yes, we begin with a remarkable herbal extract that has been used for thousands of years in traditional Ayurvedic medicine in India to calm the fire of inflammation in the joints. It is our first supplement, Boswellia serrata. This is a special resin or sap that comes from a tree. It is also known in the West as Indian frankincense. This is the supplement I often recommend for a person who has been relying too heavily on over-the-counter pain pills, the NSAIDs like ibuprofen or naproxen, and is starting to feel the side effects. I had a patient, a man in his early 70s, whose knee arthritis was so painful that he was taking the maximum dose of ibuprofen every single day just to be able to walk his dog. But the pills were causing him terrible stomach pain and heartburn. He felt trapped. The medicine that was helping his knee was hurting his stomach. We worked with his primary doctor to create a new plan. He slowly and carefully reduced his use of the ibuprofen, and at the same time, we started him on a high-quality Boswellia extract. The relief from the Boswellia was not as instant as the pill, but he was patient. After about 3 weeks of consistent use, he came to my office. He told me that his knee pain was just as controlled as it had been with the pills, but for the first time in years, his stomach felt calm and comfortable, for his body Boswellia was the gentle but effective relief it needed.
That is a wonderful and very common story. So many people feel trapped between their joint pain and the side effects of the medication. And the science behind why Boswellia works is so elegant, and it perfectly explains why it is so much gentler on the stomach. Most common NSAID pain relievers, like ibuprofen, work by blocking inflammatory pathways in the body called the COX-1 and COX-2 enzymes. The problem is the COX-1 enzyme is also responsible for producing the protective lining of your stomach. So when you block that enzyme to get pain relief in your joint, you are also getting stomach irritation as an unavoidable side effect. Boswellia works on a completely different and much more targeted inflammatory pathway. Its active compounds, which are called boswellic acids, primarily inhibit a different enzyme called 5-LOX. This enzyme is a major producer of a specific kind of inflammatory chemical called a leukotriene, which is very involved in arthritis. By specifically targeting this 5-LOX pathway, Boswellia is able to provide powerful anti-inflammatory relief without affecting the protective lining of the stomach. The meta-analysis you shared from BMC Complementary Medicine and Therapies, which found that Boswellia's effects were comparable to the prescription drug diclofenac, is a powerful confirmation of this. So it is a smarter, more targeted way to fight inflammation. Now, for our viewers who want to discuss this with their doctor, what should they look for in a high-quality Boswellia supplement? I know that not all products on the shelf are the same.
That is the most important part of this conversation. You must not just buy the raw ground-up resin in a capsule. To get the real benefit, you must look for a product that is a standardized extract. This is a technical term, but it is very important. It means the manufacturer has tested the product to guarantee that it contains a specific high percentage of the active boswellic acids. You will often see a number on the front of the bottle, like standardized to 65% boswellic acids. This is the sign of a high-quality, potent, and effective product.
And what about the dosage, doctor? What have the clinical studies generally found to be an effective dose?
The studies that have shown good results often use a dose ranging from 300 to 500 milligrams of a standardized extract taken 2 to 3 times per day, usually with food. But of course, the right dose for you is a conversation that you must have with your own doctor, who understands your specific health needs and any other medications you may be taking.
It is just amazing to think that these powerful and very specific medicines have been waiting for us in nature, hidden in the resin of a tree. It is a true blessing that modern science is now finally allowing us to understand and to use them so precisely and so safely. So Boswellia is a fantastic fast-acting soother for more immediate relief from pain and inflammation, and it's especially gentle on the stomach. Doctor, what is the second tier in your protocol? You call this one the deep systemic balancer.
Yes, while Boswellia is excellent for addressing the direct pain and inflammation in a specific joint, our next supplement works on a deeper body-wide level to help calm the entire inflammatory system. It is one of the most well-known healing spices in the world. It is turmeric, or more precisely, its most active and powerful compound, curcumin. This is often the supplement I recommend for people who are dealing with autoimmune forms of arthritis, like rheumatoid arthritis, where the inflammation is not just in one knee or one hip, but is felt throughout the entire body. I had a patient, a woman in her early 60s, who suffered terribly from rheumatoid arthritis. The inflammation was in her hands, her wrists, and her feet. She had a constant feeling of being inflamed all over, and she suffered from a deep, profound fatigue that so often comes with this condition. We worked with her rheumatologist, of course, but as a supportive natural measure, we added a high-quality, high-absorption curcumin supplement to her daily routine. The change was not fast. I must be very clear about this. It was very gradual. But after about 2 months of consistent daily use, she told me that the constant feeling of heat in her joints had started to cool down. The painful morning stiffness in her hands was not as severe, and for the first time in years, the deep fatigue was beginning to lift. The curcumin was helping to balance her body's overactive inflammatory response at a very deep systemic level.
That is another incredible story of gentle patient healing. And the science behind curcumin is some of the most extensive in the world for any natural compound. As you said, doctor, it works on a very deep level. Curcumin helps to block a master inflammatory switch in our bodies called NF-kappa B. You can think of NF-kappa B as the general of the army of inflammation in your body. When this general is activated, it sends out signals to produce hundreds of different inflammatory chemicals that travel throughout your entire system. Curcumin has been shown in many studies to help calm down this general, which in turn helps to quiet the entire army of inflammation. This is why it can be so helpful for systemic body-wide conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, and not just for a single sore joint. But doctor, we absolutely have to talk about the most important detail when it comes to taking turmeric or curcumin, and that is the problem of absorption.
Yes, this is the main reason why so many people try taking simple turmeric powder from their spice cabinet and feel no effect at all. The curcumin in plain turmeric is very poorly absorbed by the human body. On its own, it passes right through you. It must have a helper to be effective.
And that famous and essential helper is a compound that is found in simple black pepper. It is called piperine. Scientific studies have shown that adding just a small amount of black pepper can increase your body's absorption of curcumin by up to 2,000%. That is not a small number. It is an incredible example of food synergy. So when you are looking for a curcumin supplement, it is absolutely critical to choose one that is either formulated with piperine or that uses another modern technology like binding the curcumin to a healthy fat to increase its bioavailability. Without this, you are very likely wasting your money. Now, doctor, because curcumin is so powerful, we must talk about safety and potential drug interactions. What is the most important one that our viewers need to be aware of?
The most important warning is for people who are taking any kind of blood-thinning medication, such as warfarin. Curcumin can also have a mild blood-thinning effect on its own, and the combination of the two can be dangerous. It is absolutely vital that anyone on these medications consults with their physician before they start taking a curcumin supplement.
And what is a typical therapeutic dose that has been used in the scientific studies for arthritis?
The studies that have shown good results for joint health often use a dose of around 1,000 milligrams of a high bioavailability curcumin extract daily, and it is usually taken with a meal that contains some fat to help with absorption. But again, I must stress that the right dose for you is a personal decision that must be made in conversation with your doctor. That is such a complete and responsible overview. It is a blessing to have these natural tools and also the scientific wisdom to know how to use them safely and effectively. And we love sharing this kind of deep wisdom with our community all around the world. To help us see our global community, please let us know what city, state, or country you are watching from. We love hearing from all of you.
So we have Boswellia as our fast-acting soother and turmeric as our deep systemic balancer. Both of those are incredible for fighting the fire of inflammation. But doctor, what about the physical structure of the joint itself, the actual cartilage that has been worn down over the years? What is the final tier in your protocol, the one for providing long-term structural support?
This is a very important final step. To support the joint for the long term, we must try to provide the direct building materials that the cartilage is made of. For this, we turn to our third and final supplement, the classic and well-known combination of glucosamine and chondroitin. These supplements, I must say, require the most patience of all, but for the right person, they can make a great deal of difference over time. I had a patient, a man in his late 60s, who had osteoarthritis in his hips. He described his pain to me not as a sharp inflammatory pain, but as a constant, creaky, grinding feeling. He said it felt like his joints were dry and rusty. He was losing his range of motion, and he found it very difficult to bend down to tie his own shoes in the morning. We started him on a high-quality glucosamine and chondroitin supplement. For the first month, he told me he felt nothing. He wanted to quit. I encouraged him to be patient and to trust the process. After 3 months of consistent daily use, he came back to my office and told me that the creaky feeling in his hips had started to lessen. He said the movement felt smoother. It was not a miracle cure, but it was a slow, gradual, and very real improvement in his daily comfort and his mobility.
That story about the importance of patience is so critical for this specific supplement. Let's be very clear with our viewers about what these compounds are and what they are not. Glucosamine and chondroitin are not fast-acting pain relievers in the same way as boswellia or turmeric. They are natural substances that are a part of your body's own cartilage. As you said, doctor, they are the building blocks or the raw materials for your joints. The scientific research on them has been mixed for a long time, and the reason is likely because they do not work for everyone, and they work very, very slowly. They are not fighting the fire of inflammation directly. Instead, they may help to slow down the degradation of your existing cartilage, and they provide the raw materials your body needs to try and repair that structure. It is a very long-term investment in the health of your joints foundation.
And because this is a long-term investment, it is very important to say that these supplements, all of them, are only helpers. They are not a replacement for the true foundation of your health.
So you're saying we cannot just take these pills and then continue to eat an inflammatory diet full of sugar and processed foods and expect a good result?
That is exactly right. To give these supplements the best possible chance to work, you must also create a healing environment inside your body. You must focus on an anti-inflammatory diet, a diet that is full of the fresh vegetables, the healthy fats, and the good quality proteins that we have discussed in many of our other videos. You must remove the refined sugar and the processed foods that are constantly creating the fire of inflammation that is damaging your joints in the first place. And you must also practice gentle daily movement. Movement is what helps to pump the nutrient-rich synovial fluid through your joints, lubricating them and delivering these very building blocks from the supplements to the cartilage that needs them. A stiff, stagnant joint is a joint that cannot properly heal.
That is a perfect summary of a truly holistic approach to health. It's about using these blessed natural supplements as a support system, but also taking on the stewardship and the personal responsibility of our daily diet and our daily movement. That is where true lasting healing is found. Doctor, this has been an incredible and very hopeful guide. You've given our viewers a complete 3-tiered arthritis support protocol. It provides a clear and hopeful path forward for anyone who is struggling with chronic arthritis. We have boswellia as the fast-acting soother for inflammation. We have turmeric as the deep systemic balancer for the entire body. And we have glucosamine and chondroitin for long-term structural support of the cartilage itself. This is a full-spectrum natural approach to managing chronic joint pain. What is so empowering about this is that these natural supplements, when they are used wisely, offer a way to fight back against arthritis that works in harmony with the body, not against it. This is such a hopeful message for people who thought that pills with harsh side effects were their only option for their joint pain. This is a practical and patient approach to managing arthritis and reclaiming a more comfortable and active life.
I want to leave everyone with this one final thought. Healing from a chronic condition like arthritis is a patient journey. It is not a race. Natural remedies work slowly and gently in harmony with your body's own deep wisdom. Be consistent with your good habits, give your body the support it needs, and over time, it will begin to heal itself.
That is the perfect message to end with, Doctor. A patient journey. It's a wonderful reminder to be good stewards of our health, using the gentle, blessed gifts from nature with both wisdom and with patience. And of course, the wisest first step is always to speak with your personal doctor or a registered dietitian before starting any new supplement regimen. This is especially critical if you are taking any medications, particularly blood thinners. Please remember that our conversation today is for educational purposes and is not a substitute for the direct medical advice from your own trusted physician. If you found this guide empowering and helpful, please give this video a like so that others can find this vital information. And be sure to share it with a friend or family member who might be looking for a gentler approach to their joint pain. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. It is completely free, and it ensures you will not miss our next deep dive into your health and well-being. And for our community discussion today, we would love to know, which of these 3 natural supplements are you most interested in discussing with your doctor? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for being with us. Be well.